Mr. Vishal Bhardwaj. It's a pleasure having you, sir. What I can say probably about Mr. Sen is that, as we know, he's been in the industry for quite a few years now, and he's a renowned Indian film critic and writer. His writing style is in fact, he's considered as one of the most feared Indian critic, if I could say, because his writing style is considered as a very cruel and savage. This time he's done something different, probably an unconventional approach, wherein he's written a book for children. I think writing a book for children, people have this myth that it's something very easy, but it's not. Because when you're writing a book for an adult, you yourself are an adult and you can relate to them. But when you're writing a book for children, like Mr. Sen has done, to ensure that your lingo matches with their lingo, to ensure that you can connect and relate to their thought process. So this is what Mr. Sen has done in a very profound yet very subtle way. Adding to this, if I could say about Mr. Sen's writing styles, I think it's probably like salt, which brings all the ingredients together. Likewise, he's probably a potpourri of being quirky, funny, dexterous, and maybe unrelentlessly honest. So if I could request you to address the gallery.
Ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, Mr. Bachchan, thank you all so much for coming this evening. Before we begin, I would first like to salute a cinematic legend we lost yesterday. In keeping with the book we are here to launch, I have written a little limerick to celebrate a great actor and a true gentleman. An actor who lived for the theatre and for cinema. We miss him already, this man who held on to his ma. Remember the roles, that smile, that hair. Remember above all the way he cared. In the words of the great Shashi Kapoor, Pyar kiye ja. Clearly, writing rhymes is an addiction. And clearly I might have a problem. We'll see with the next review and if it ends up being written in meter. That brings us to a question I find myself answering very often now. Why did I, a film critic, write a children's book? The answer is simply that I have always loved them. I taught myself to read because grown-ups around me were not reading out fast enough or often enough. And I have been smitten by children's literature to this day. I love the way children's books have no constraints and how actively children respond to something that challenges their imagination. I love how children's books sound when read out loud. And I have always wanted to write one. I also love the movies. This, I admit, might not be news. We film critics do what we do because we love the movies. This series, called My First Matinee, is about sharing that love with children who aren't old enough to watch these masterpieces. I strongly believe, however, that they are old enough to appreciate great stories, timeless characters, and incredible drama. Therefore, here we are, telling the story of Francis Ford Cappola's The Godfather through the story of a man who makes the most fantastic pastries. We call him the best baker in the world. We'll talk a little more about that particular baker and his family, as well as his very special connection with our epic chief guest. But first, I would like to introduce you to the illustrator behind the fabulous drawings in this book. Vishal Bhardwaj is a hyper-talented young artist and an old friend, and we've had an absolute blast working on this book. Introducing children to The Godfather also meant introducing this particular illustrator to The Godfather, because he'd never seen it before. He has, however, rectified that a few hundred times since then, and I'd like to call him up to discuss how he made these beautiful drawings and how strongly the film influenced his art. A hand, please, for Vishal Bhardwaj. Hello. Video.
Right, so when Raja came to me last year and said, I want to make The Godfather for 8-year-olds, it was an offer I couldn't refuse. This is not the last time this joke is going to be made in this place, so please prepare for this. He wanted to make children's books for adult movies for children, so we came up with the best baker in the world. It's not called The Godfather. And that journey took us an entire year to go from Godfather the film to The Best Baker, the book. But we call it a tribute to Francis Ford Coppola's Godfather. It's not an adaptation, it's not just short for short copy. So first we started with the doll himself. You can't have the Godfather or the Best Baker without adapting the doll. And that was a process that took months in itself. So first, of course, you start in scribbling in the corner of a notebook. Uh, Please excuse the quality. Um, and of course, we decided to turn to the animals. So exploring what kind of animal the doll would be happened over a few weeks. You see a bear and a bird, and I started to like seeing him as a bird, as an owl, as an eagle, somewhere in between. So this was one of the intermediate steps. And then as he went along, we changed him. He's no longer in a tuxedo, he's got his own apron, but he keeps the carnation that is very signature of that Marlon Brando character. And then finally, after a few months, after many tweaks, after feedback from Raja, this is the guy we had. This is our Don Canoli. But you can't just have the Godfather with the Don, you need Michael as well. And, well, since we already had a bird as the father, we thought, okay, sometimes it's as simple as just taking a man and putting a beak on him. At least that's the start. Many iterations later, Michael became our Boy Scout. No longer an army man, but a young, idealistic boy. So he's a crow, and of course after that we needed a cover. We needed a cover soon before the entire book was done. And all of this ideation happened at Raja's place. Many notes, many thumbnails like this, many sketches. And that's where we really found Michael. We found that he was not just idealistic but mischievous. And Raja had this idea of a cover with a slingshot. And that's what started to emerge. But not just any slingshot, not just a slingshot with a little pea or something. We wanted a giant meatball on that thing. And that became a central part of the book, our central spread, which we were very proud of. And that also became our cover. And that's a little bit about the journey of that's taken us a year and some change. Now it's hopefully in your hands, and please enjoy it.
Thank you, Vishal. I'm particularly grateful for a purple parakeet who looks like Prince. Now on to the main course. I've been pinching myself all day, not only because my first book is out, but because the one and only Amitabh Bachchan is here to launch it and is sitting right there and looking at me right now. This is quite obviously hard to believe, and this is also why I'm reading loyally from a script instead of trying to even pretend to be spontaneous. There is no better person to launch this particular book. There is no better person to launch this particular book because Mr. Bachchan is the Godfather. He has been the angry young man like the smoldering Michael Corleone. He has been the unflappably cool older brother like the easily provoked Sonny Corleone. And as we learned from his Don Corleone performance in the Sarkar films, no movie mafia could have a more towering patriarch. He is all things Godfather rolled into one. And as he now watches over the film industry and keeps us all in check, we look to him with gratitude and applause. Sir, thank you so much for coming. Please say a few words.
Thank you so much for inviting me here today. Please sit. Quite obviously, my reason for coming here has been Raja's acidic pen, because he has the unique ability of destroying and devastating every film that I've worked in. And the fear of that happening in a recurring fashion has brought me here this afternoon. Thank you so much for having me here, Raja. I'm actually quite surprised by what Raja has produced in the form of this book. It is a complete departure from what he does with other people's lives. But baking a cake and writing a book for young children, I thought was extremely novel and unique, and to mix it so intelligently with a film and the character, which doesn't actually go along with children, but I thought it was very brave, very unique to do something like this. I also want to compliment you, Vishal, for the wonderful illustrations. I'm very keen to see how you actually manufactured the main character, and it's really interesting. I was wondering how you came about those images, and I must compliment you, and thank you so much for putting this all together. I have to tell you that the reason why you have written this book has already been accepted. My granddaughter has loved it, and I'm looking forward to reading many of the poems to her as she goes to bed. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for having me here tonight.
Thank you, sir. And just as a special treat to everyone here, and because I can't let the best voice in the world go without reading a little something from the best baker in the world, if you could just read the opening verses.
This is the first verse of the book. Don was a man who loved to bake. Oh, what desserts he would make. The best in the land, so good you'd kiss his hand, just for a slice of his chocolate cake.
Woohoo!
Everyone loved the Don. His parties went on, and he practically gave his cakes away. He made people smile with his sweets, eclairs, macaroons, and so many treats. Don gave them out for free. He said, just be nice to me. Everyone bowed to him in the streets. Thank you, sir.
I think we should release the book now. So we just unwrap it. If all the children who've been around here, maybe they would like to come in for one quick picture with all of us.
We are kids too. Yeah. Oh.
Steadfastly admires posing for Papa's camera.
So,
we would like to thank Mr. Bachchan. Before we end, we would like to thank Mr. Bachchan for removing time and gracing the occasion. So, 1 minute, Mr. Abhiraj Kohli, the owner of Grandma's Cafe, would like to extend a token of appreciation.